Okay, so what we have here is essentially the motherboard and video card, everything just built into the Xbox 360 chassis. What I did was I started with a piece, you can see it right here, of a motherboard backplate. I soldered in standoffs here and here, and that allowed me to screw it to the base of the Xbox 360 chassis. Then I attached the motherboard to that. Off to this side we have, this is the 1050 Ti, 4GB. It's an MSI obviously. Here's a PCI Express extension cable that is actually laid over and underneath the card and connects here on this side in a hole that I've cut into the side of the Xbox chassis. On the front we've got USB 3 connections. This is a sort of thrown together power board slash hard drive light and power indicator and all that into one there. There's USB 2.0 slots here where the original USB ports were on the Xbox. Got a 500GB drive here. This is only 8GB of RAM. It's a ballistic RAM, 2400 megahertz DDR4. This is a Thermaltake Slim S3 sitting on top of a Pentium G4560. Dual core, 4 threads, and it actually games pretty well for what it is and how much it costs. Here is a micro power supply. Some people call it a Pico PSU. It's a 250 watt, 12 volt power supply. Connects back here to another piece that I attached into the original chassis, which is powered by this original Xbox 360 powered brick. So basically the Xbox 360 was just a 12 volt power supply anyway. It has 4 12 volt lines in the original wire. So here I just spliced all 4 positives together and all 4 negatives together and ended up with one 12 volt source, which powers about 203 watts according to the brick. Then here's a 5 volt connection that has to be grounded to each other. So basically this is like a power switch, but I just leave it soldered together all the time. A person could put a clickable switch on this to turn the power supply on or off, but there's no point really, I just leave it. So the point of showing it outside of the case was to show how it goes back into the original Xbox 360 shell. So it reassembles exactly like the original 360. Put it back into the bottom casing there. Put our top on. This part takes a little bit of finessing because it's not quite original, so. Original end piece back on. Put the faceplate on. This is just a faceplate that I kind of just painted up to look like that for fun. Now the old hard drive cover I just put on as a cover to cover up the hole in there, which you can't see it now, but to protect the video card connections I used a piece of tubing around on the metal portion of the chassis that I cut away, so there's no way it can ground out on there. For a cover, I just cut basically a square hole on top of this. This is Velcro for anybody curious. Pretty fancy. I made a piece of translucent, sort of a smoked plexi. Got off eBay for like $8 and cut it down to size and did a 120mm fan. This is a blue LED fan. It's a Thermaltake, and just a MSI logo. Got those off eBay as well. This fan grill got off eBay. It's actually clan symbol for Sub-Zero's clan off Mortal Kombat. I didn't know that when I bought it, but I failed to mention it a minute ago, but on the underside of the motherboard is a 256 gig solid state NVMe Western Digital drive. Right, so you see how it goes together and how it's just all self-contained in the original system. And now we can go on to some tests and some maybe benchmarks.